tide is turning because Generation Z. I mean, the younger generation is. What's happening to this? There we go. The younger generation, is different, as we all know. When it comes to rap, especially Generation Z versus, back end of Generation X and millennials, I suppose. Say millennials as we have here, Waka Flocka, who is a millennial. He's born the right time frame. He's younger than me, I think. Yeah, he is younger than me. And Daniel Caesar, who's very young, he's a Generation Zer. They just got a different sort of mindset, and it's how like times have changed, and people how they view the world, and different ideas sort of clashing. Daniel Caesar is a singer. I don't really know him that well. I don't know him that well. I mean, we say hi in passing. Obviously, I know Waka. Very, I remember the first time I heard Hard in the Paint, I was like, what the fuck? This geezer. It's crazy. But he said something, he was on live stream. He was on stream, he was on, I think he was on Instagram Live. That is Daniel Caesar. Where he said Daniel Caesar shouldn't speak on black Americans, is what Waka Flocka said. Now if you watch I've actually watched the clip of it, and it's like there's more to it than these sound bites that they might put in it, you know what I'm saying? But like Waka Flocka basically says him and his wife Tammy Rivera, she fine, are not happy with R&B singer Daniel Caesar's claim that black people are too sensitive. That's what he said. So Waka believes that Caesar has no grounds to talk about what black Americans go through because he's Canadian. Which is an interesting thing to say, because like black Americans and all Americans seem to dictate what all black people across the world are going through and say, this is our struggle, this is our culture. Blah, 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 blah. As Americans do. It's always, me. This is black culture. It's like, no, this is American culture with black people in it. Can we just acknowledge that America, you don't decide what the whole world is based on anything. Do you know what I'm saying? It's very bizarre. America goes, oh, Crazy Rich Asians. That's something novel that Chinese will like. Well, yeah, we have our own films with Chinese people in it because we're China. Are you crazy? Like, this is how America thinks. It's like going, it's literally like that. Yeah, this is for black culture. It's like, no, it's American black culture. Black culture is very diverse. There's Africa. It's fucking big. Have you been? We're Africans. No, you're Americans. For God's sake, will you just calm down? The rest of the world isn't the same as you. It's very different. 8% of you ain't got passports. It needs to be mandatory. They all got passports. In fact, no more. Right. So just a little rant about America. But no more fucking national service. Saying, bring back national service. That'll turn them into men and women. No. For America, they need a special national service. It's called a state forced gap year, where they got to go all around the world and live in different countries and actually see what different countries are like, because they do not have a clue. I mean, they have access to they got the internet and everything, but still that's not enough. That's what it should happen to all Americans. That's what should happen, unless they've like claimed citizenship and they've already been from somewhere else, because they would have gone somewhere else because they got a bloody passport to get there in the first place. Just come on, America, please. Okay. I mean, Waka Flocka obviously has been around the world, but he's just been on tour. It's very different, right? So what he said. Now the thing is, what I wanted to get into this is that the whole like, him saying, "Oh, us black people are too sensitive," blah blah blah. Which he says black people are quite sensitive, but what Waka Flocka says is pretty much, I'll slap him when I see him. He's from Canada, okay, so he doesn't know what is going on. He's Canadian. Tell him to drive down the street in a car and speed and get pulled over by 2 white cops, and then he'll figure out why. And I don't know. Where's he say he's gonna? I swear they've changed this. This is like last week I first saw it. He did say, says, "Don't you ever in your life talk about black people like that, you stupid. Make sure you stay the fuck away from me because we might get over on your ass," is what Waka Flocka said. Which, of course, is it's quite an amusing way to react to being called sensitive. Saying, well, saying, as a black man, I think us black people are a bit oversensitive. Going, what you fucking say? I'm going to slap you when I see you. That's what's funny. But the thing is, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, you can't speak for all black people, I'm afraid. You can't. You just can't. I know you like to, but you can't. But there is, this is what my point I'm trying to get. There definitely is something about rappers being very overly sensitive. Now, this is definitely something I can confirm. And, rap being still, even though it's the biggest, hip-hop is like the biggest music genre on planet Earth, it is popular music. It's still predominantly, even the amount of white people that are in it now, it's still predominantly black. Like, still. Just go look at that Piff. Full of black. So, if you were going to judge everything on hip-hop, unfortunately, like, hip-hop it probably does have a lot to answer for in terms of the way black people are perceived across the world. Like, it kind of does. Like, the imagery put forward. Because ghetto music and, ghetto shit sometimes is just, it's fucking hood, innit? Just a bit ghetto. And sometimes there's some negative shit that comes forward. There's a lot of negative things that push forward. So you that might have an influential factor on the way people perceive stuff through rap music. It's got to be acknowledged, and it's something I've always thought about. Because not all black people are like that, as you would know if you'd ever been outside of your little American hip hop bubble. But the point is if you judged on how sensitive people were based on how rappers react. Oh yeah. You might have a point for saying. You might have a point. I'm just gonna get my slide back out because that this page is using up significant energy because it's double XL. It's got way too much. There's way too much fucking videos and advertising trying to load on that thing. I'm not having it overload me. You ain't overloading me, bitch. So the point is about sensitive rappers it is a thing, right? And I'll give you a perfect example. There's many of the years, especially nowadays. Maybe not as, and I'm not talking, and older heads too. So I'm not talking about the new generation. I'm just saying, more recently, I think it's changed. Because I say, if you went back to the early days of diss tracks and having beefs that were a bit more like competition, like Boroughs versus Borough. You look at KRS-One versus was it MC Shan? So Bronx versus Queens. That was more of a. No one's getting slapped and shot over that kind of shit. And then you could say the stuff in the 90s, with the beefs there. But that's different. You got Tupac was shot and then blamed one person, then he said he fucked a guy's wife and that's some disrespectful shit. The fallout of NWA was all about, it was just about lots of money, all this stuff. But now, more recent times, this is something you could blame on Twitter as well. Because I remember when I first heard about Twitter beef, rap Twitter beef, I thought that is the wackest shit I've ever heard of. Twitter beef? Are you fucking kidding me? Because that was when Twitter was young. First thing rappers were doing was beefing with each other on it. And I was like, look, who goes on Twitter? At that time, it was Stephen Fry. People it was old people. Why are you rowing on Twitter? Drop a diss track, you massive pussy. And then you have this whole generation who just get overly triggered, like way too fucking triggered. And a perfect recent example is, Migos doing what a lot of young rappers do. Like, young rappers are exceptionally good at trolling and grabbing headlines because they know the older heads will just lose their fucking shit. Now, that's why Tekashi 6ix9ine was so great. He just come out looking like a fucking, literally looking like a space clown. Like a space clown, right? This kid's, and he looks like he's out of a fucking 1990s Eurodance video. Like, he looks like he's from Holland in 1992, peeled out of his nut. Right? But he's not. And he's on record, he sounds like fucking Onyx, but with more trappy beats. Like, it's like, what is this? It's fucking great. But he is a super troll. There's loads, and there's a lot of super trolls. Even Lil Yachty was trolling, was really winding people up from what he was saying. He was trolling, and he didn't even know what he was doing. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, literally, just say what was on his mind, going, well, I don't listen to that. And then later on, what do you mean you don't listen to Biggie Smalls? Burn! That's what the old heads are so easily like. It's like, calm down, Grandad. Will you fucking calm down? And a perfect example of this recently is, like I said, is Migos making an outlandish claim going, I mean, he didn't even say, I don't think they even said best rap group. They said, just the best rap group of all time. No, best group of all time. I mean, that is a bold claim, if ever I heard one. It's like, whoa. You've had a few hits, you know. I like the Culture album. I like the first. I like the mixed. How was it? What was the mixtape with Versace? I got that. I didn't like the first album. Last Culture album wasn't very good. You know, they got some but Culture. I'd say the Culture album is actually a solid body of work. I will play that from beginning to, from start to finish and go, yeah, I enjoyed that. That's all right. Yeah, I enjoyed that. That's right. Right. And, they were very influential, the Migos flow, blah, blah, blah. But making statements like that, it's like, all right, calm down, eh? That's going, yeah, whatever, mate. That should be the reaction. But no, the reaction comes from, who? It's one of the Bones. I just want to make sure I can't remember which one. Who was it? Who was it? Which Bone Thugs? Bone Thugs and Harmony. Lazy Bone, right? Yeah. So Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. So they're all called something Bone. Lazy Bone. So you got Lazy. Now Bone Thugs and Harmony, if you don't know, were really big in the 90s. They were signed to Ruthless Records. They had two big hits, like First of the Month and Crossroads, multi-platinum selling out, like one of the biggest selling rap groups, definitely, of an era. Like if you're looking per album, and obviously it's very hard to quantify that with Migos' success now because of streaming and everything. It's just a totally different. It's just totally different way of gauging popularity and sales. It's just not even the same. Or like sales aren't even sales. It's like 50 streams counts as 0.1 sales or whatever the fuck. I can't keep up with it. I was like, yeah, whatever. Where's the money? Like, it's like I'm number one because I did so many streams within 2.5 minutes. It's like, it's hard to quantify. But like just making big claims is fine. But Lazy Bone decides to go on again, like live streaming on Instagram, just going on Instagram Live. This is where a lot of trouble happens on Instagram Live, doesn't it? He's on Instagram Live, ranting and raving about Migos. It's like, all right, fine, you can go. I mean, you could go, yeah, whatever. And then, no, but instead of that, to prove that they're not the biggest group of all time and that Bone Thugs are or whatever, he walks off and he comes on with a shotgun. That's how we react. That's how you react. That's how a non-sensitive person reacts. And bearing in mind, Lazy Bone is probably in his almost 50, so he thinks the sort of the most tactile, the best way to deal with a bunch of youngsters making wild boasts about being the greatest group in the world, instead of just going, I don't think you are. What an outrageous statement you've made, young man. No, just go on Instagram Live, pull out a shotgun, and threaten to waste them all. That's and that is not a thing a sensitive person, that's not a sensitive reaction. That's not being oversensitive. Like I said, it's rappers who are oversensitive. Like I can't speak for such a broad spectrum of human beings. I cannot, but I can speak for American rappers. And I can say, yes, there's definitely a high percentage of oversensitivity. I mean, even look at Soulja Boy recently. They were like going, oh, I had the biggest comeback of last year, which everyone was like, and they said, well, no, I think Tyga did. And Tyga did, because he made that tune. Like everywhere I was in Thailand, they're playing that tune. I was like, oh my God, Tyga's everywhere. And it is, it is a banger. He was lucky getting that beat, that's for sure. Hey, but look, what is Soulja Boy going? No, what? Tyga, I fucked his bitch. I'm gonna burn his house. It's like, chill out. Yes, and it's like, well, sorry, all right, he didn't have the biggest comeback. You think you did? All right, maybe it's subjective. No. It's like, well, and he did, didn't he? I mean, what did Soulja Boy do? Like having a fight with Jake Paul. Soulja Boy's so out of touch. He thinks Jake Paul is gonna make him money now. Like Jake Paul's totally fallen off. Like no one talks about Jake Paul no more after that Shane Dawson shit. Boom! No one cares no more. Like you've really missed the boat on that one. And releasing a knockoff Nintendo. Isn't that what it was? Like a Chinese sweatshop knockoff of Nintendo. I've got my own console. No, you haven't. Saying, oh, you just don't want to see a black man succeed. It's like, what are you talking about? No, we just don't want to see any. Just shut up. Honestly, like, so yeah, rappers are fucking oversensitive people. Like, really, look at Wale. Wale is ridiculous, and Wale's a lot older than Wale. Wale's like a first generation immigrant of Nigerian descent. It's embarrassing, but he ended up in America, so I suppose, and being a rapper. So those two things are going against him. If he'd stayed in Nigeria, he'd be a fine, well-balanced individual. But no, he had to have He had to have the whole fact of being brought up in America and becoming a rapper thrust upon him, and therefore he's just like, "What? You didn't like my album?" Like calling up journalists, cussing them out, going, "No, this is the greatest album of the year." It's like, what is wrong? Like, Jesus Christ! Could you? I mean, you get at one level, like you get YG protesting the Grammys because he thinks his album's the best of the year, and it's like, all right. I mean, that's not being oversensitive. Maybe that's just being. It's like they're either really oversensitive or just take it and just consumed by ego that makes them oversensitive. You know what I mean? Like consumed by ego. Go, no, I'm going to protest the Grammys because my album was the best album of the year. Going, right, so we're protesting the Grammys now, are we? We're just. Is there anything we won't protest these days? Well, let's protest the Grammys. He even brought little kids with him, like. But that's not a lot on the terms of oversensitivity within rap. There's countless examples. Look at Funkmaster Flex. Funkmaster Flex went off his nut because Jay-Z stole an app idea. Dropping bombs and saying, "Everybody up! I'm coming for you, Carter! I'm coming for you, Jigger! Hove! Your Uncle Tom motherfucker stole my app!" Like, Jesus, calm down. Aren't you 70? Will you calm down? What a way to behave. The rap community can really be very, very sensitive. And look, does happen in the UK a little bit too. A little bit, not quite as much. And the only example I can think is Crazy Titch, who stabbed someone over a fucking diss track. He's still in jail. But that's about the only one I can really think of. So, we're fine in Britain. We're cool. Probably fine in France. Different rap communities across the world. France, friendship has always been big. I think they're fine too. But in America, it's like, oh my God. Saying, what do you mean my hoes ain't the finest? I'll kill you! What? Will you calm down? saying, well, actually, the SoundScan results say I had the biggest hit of the year. What do you mean, motherfucker? You been to the club? I don't see you rapping your song. I'm outside your house. I'm gonna kill you. Do you know how hard it is to quote rappers without dropping M-bombs every 5 seconds as well? But I'm a professional. But it's just like, oh, okay. I said the last album was better. Is that all right? No! No, it's not! I'm going on Instagram Live with a fucking rocket launcher. You bitch! All right, okay. All right, I take it back. I take it. Like, come on. Jesus Christ. So even Little Kim is like fucking... Nicki Minaj has dyed her hair. She's totally still in my style. I'm going to drop an 8-minute diss track on her. I'm like, all right. And fairly, it was like one of the best tunes she's made in years, so at least she'd done something. But, all right, you chill. Just chill out. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Young Thug is another example. Future, Metro Boomin. It was Metro Boomin who put out the tweet that said, not all of you young motherfuckers, blah, 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 can be dropping as much music as Future is. Like, you ain't got the juice or whatever it was. Or someone mentioned the word juice. I think Future mentioned it. And instantly, without even saying any names, and like Atlanta artists, especially, like, consider, you know, there's a hell of a lot of them who are very, very prolific. There's a lot of prolific artists out there. But no, straight away, Young Thug going, what'd you say about me, motherfucker? I'm coming down there with straps. I'm gonna fucking skull fuck your mum until she's dead. I mean, he didn't actually go that far. But, like, it was like, you know, it's like, he didn't even mention you. It's like, whoa, chill out. Said he wasn't even talking about him. They were even working together. Do you know what I mean? It's like, just this is just shh. So it is, you know, it's just highly amusing that this youngster who has a different perspective on the world will say, you know, like, make his way and just going, you know what, I feel like we are overly sensitive as a race of people. And Waka Flocka's instant reaction to that is, don't come home here. Or it's on. I'm going to slap you. So, yeah, it's rappers, man. American rappers. Very, very sensitive. Make the great... Look, this is the thing about musicians, right? I always said musicians and actors, right? Make fantastic art. Musicians make fantastic art that makes you feel here. They definitely got the channel. Don't know why I'm using this little screen. But they do. They have a direct route into part of the soul. That makes us feel great and it's inspirational. But do not ask any more from musicians, especially. Do not ask them to be political. You've had the rare political musicians that are, you know, are well thought and know what's going on. I mean, you could argue like Immortal Technique, but then he's probably activist credentials are probably better than his rap credentials. Not him as a rapper, but like, you know, in terms of album sales and just impact on music industry, you know. Just saying. You get Immortal Technique and you get, I don't know. Definitely not. I mean, look at John Lennon. I mean, for God's sake, he's just an imbecile. We're like going, oh, we're not going to get out of bed. I don't know why he's now Brummy now. Hey, we're not going to get out of bed. We're going to stay in bed until the end of the fucking war. It's like, John, you've done a lot of drugs, haven't you? Yeah. It's like, you know, we hold... You know, not all musicians should be held in such high regard for intellect, shall we say. Emotional intellect, yes. Intellect, no. That's why we're living in very interesting times where, you know, music isn't dangerous anymore anyway. You know, music doesn't make... It's so corporate, it's like, you know... we don't listen to, and actors don't listen to how fucking actors are great people and they're very useful, you know, obviously because they act and shit, which is great. But like a hell of a lot of actors that you know they're very good at delving into a character, but I don't think. No, I'm joking, but you know, it's like, come on, let's just no, stop speaking. Shh, you know, you just need. I mean, look at what happened with Brie Larson started, like, talking. Look at what's happened. The Brie Larson shit is fucking mental. It's because you shouldn't let an actress talk too much. Or an actor. But none of them. You shouldn't let them talk that much. So, like, just go out there. Just do all the vacuous stuff they do. Hello, yes. What was it like working with this director? Oh, best director I've ever met. Oh, yeah, what was it like? Well, the script was amazing. It was amazing. Yes, this is one of the most important films I've ever made. Best experience of my life. One of the best films I've ever been in. In theatres, March 37th. There's no 37th of March, by the way. That's all they need to do. Just follow the fucking script. Okay? What do you think about being a feminist within the film industry? I'm going to say stuff. No, don't. Shh. Jesus Christ. Who let Larson speak? Just leave the talking. Just saying. Actors, musicians, TV presenters. Oh, hell yeah. Know your limits. We're not going to start trying to act. I can act a bit, but, I could do what I can do. But I'm not going to start, I'm not going to start talking about the Meisner technique, right? And shit like, right? I've read about it. Got a book over there, but that's because, directing stuff. I'm not going to fucking, all right? Just chill. Just make pretty movies and make beautiful music, because you're doing enough. All right, guys, you're doing enough. You're bringing people together at your concerts. You're making people feel better about themselves in the morning. You're motivating technicians and scientists to get through the day of bullshit with your beautiful music. That is what you do best. Keep on doing that. There we go. There's a positive message for that. Now from positivity to lunacy.